Happy Sunday. Happy race day. I hope you have your coffee. That first cup of coffee. The first sip of coffee. Yes. Delicious. Homestead. Well, it came with its drama too. And today is going to be just as much, probably just as dramatic. Because we have our first short track on deck at Martinsville. And no, I'm actually not at Martinsville this year, sadly, at least for this race. Hopefully in the fall, I will get to go to Martinsville, but we had some family things that came up that were a little more pressing than me getting out to Martinsville for one of my favorite tracks. But it is going to probably be a beautiful race today, and one that I'm sure if you are in the brake pad section that it is not going to leave you disappointed. Tempers flare, brake pads or brake rotors and brake pads light up, hence their brake pad section. It sets them ablaze, and tempers really do set ablaze there sometimes. And people were angry last night or yesterday afternoon from the Xfinity. So it's really early in the season too, y'all. And we're already having temper issues. It's great. I love it. But back to talking about Homestead, where, we had issues on pit road. You cannot go 4 wide on Homestead's pit road. It just, you can't do it. And I'm not sure who thought you could. Pit road for Homestead has never, and as long as I have been watching NASCAR, been large enough at Homestead for you to go 4 wide. And that's cool. So why try it? Why? So we had an issue, a big one. Drivers having to pit backwards in their boxes due to that issue on pit road. We also had cars damaged on pit road due to going too far wide and being bumped into. So is it a pit road issue, or is it an issue of we are doing everything possible to get in and out as quickly as possible within the confines of the speed of pit lane or pit road and not lose positions? Joey Logano and Josh Berry got together and they ended up pitting like in different positions or different ways in their pit boxes. They were legal pit stops, 100%, because they were still within their pit box, but they were still, could that have been resolved with a wider pit road? Then you have where we got 4 wide and you have Kyle Larson, who got doored, basically, with an exhaust pipe in his car, with another car coming out of its stall. Is the issue, let's fix widen pit road? Or is it something else? I'm not sure. I really don't know if I have an answer for how that gets fixed. Do I think one day we might have a bigger issue at hand? Yeah, because we have had crewmen get hit on multiple teams throughout the seasons from other crews with cars coming in. We've had other incidences where you see things just not go the way that they were, I guess, planned to go, which happens. And you get turned around. That could also, depending on where your crew is, could injure a crew person. Not everybody has backup there at the track. I would hope that somebody would, if they have backup, help somebody else out, because that's what family does. But yeah, for me, it comes down to a level of safety. And yeah, NASCAR is about safety. So we'll have to wait and see. Will they widen Homestead's pit road, or are they going to keep it the same? I think this is a challenge. Y'all got to figure it out personally. Y'all are supposed to be the best in the world. Why are y'all struggling with this? I don't get it. Yeah, it's not like, well, I was going to say, y'all practice pit stops, but they don't practice with other people at their garage. So, I don't know. We had 27 lead changes among 9 different drivers, and we had 4 total caution flags. The first one was for Christopher Bell spinning. Christopher Bell was like at the highest of highs when he was going for his 3 in a row, and then he's had a rough go at it for a couple races, it seems like. And then Ryan Blaney's engine has blown again. Penske, what is going on with your engines? I would really like to know, because this is 2 engine failures already. And we're only, 6 weeks in? Have we figured out the common denominator here? Because I'd like to know. That's just very odd. How do you have 2 already blow up in 6 weeks? Inquiring minds like mine would like to know, because we go from having no engines exploding, basically, to, oh, nope, there goes Ryan Blaney's. And then, oh, it happened again? What? Again, that's not something I understand. I can see 1 happening here and there, but 2 now? Is there somebody in this shop trying to sabotage somebody? I don't know. Or do you need to go back and be double checking some things? I don't know. Again, I don't have a favorite person. I'm not a Ryan Blaney fan. It just seems very suspicious to me that we've now had 2 of his engines blow up in 6 races. But none of the other ones have. I don't know. And the rest of the cautions were basically for end of the stages. Just the things that make you go like no warning either of why it was going to go. Because this is his second DNF of the season that is hurting him. Stage 1, Ryan Blaney won stage 1. And then we had the 48, 19, 5, 2, 24, 16, 21, 4, and 22. Stage 2 was Denny Hamlin, the 5, 12, 24, 23, 48, 2, 9, 77, and 45. At the end, it was Kyle Larson, Alex Bowman, Bubba Wallace. Okay. Chase Briscoe, Denny Hamlin, Chris Buescher, AJ Allmendinger, Tyler Reddick, Ryan Preece, and Justin Haley for your top 10. Now, there were plenty of penalties. Speeding on pit road, pitting before pit road was open, crewmen, too many crewmen in contact with the pit service road, tire violation. So we had quite a few penalties on that, but overall, nothing too terribly crazy. As of right now, the driver's points look like William Byron, Kyle Larson, Alex Bowman, Tyler Reddick, Christopher Bell. And this is just the points report. Chase Elliott, Bubba Wallace, Denny Hamlin, Christopher Buescher, and Ryan Blaney for the points report after Homestead. That is not as of where they stand overall in the point standing. That's just how many points that they collected overall for the race at Homestead. So I do have to say hats off to them for recognizing that the only reason they got to race were the first responders who were working their booties off to get the fire under control that was burning. Otherwise, they wouldn't have probably had the race there over that weekend due to a crazy fire that was happening down there. I'm just like, what? But good for them to recognize those people that stepped up and worked extremely hard to ensure that that area was taken care of quickly and efficiently And, took time away from their families as well to make sure that that area was safe as quickly as it was. They did announce this week that Austin Hill is set to run 5 NASCAR Cup races with the sponsor United Rentals as well. He is set to run in the number 33, Darlington, Chicago Street Race, Daytona in August, Bristol, and Talladega. He will have Andy Street as his crew chief. So, and this will be with Richard Childress. All right. Nothing wrong with that. He's got a group to run with. Casey Mears is making his first appearance in forever today in the Martinsville race. But there was quite a bit, as I said, of disturbance or anger. Probably more of a better word. Displeasure. In the Xfinity series, there was a confrontation outside of the infield care center yesterday. So I'm not sure if we might see one today, but there was definitely one yesterday. They were not happy with one another. Austin Hill got into Eccles, and then Eccles got into Love. So, I'm sure that, there's gonna be some tension there. And there was some rough words last season from Austin Hill, if I remember correctly, about you don't wreck your teammate to win. And Austin Hill and Eccles share chassis basically, or where they get them, and so they're similar, I guess, in teammates. And so Christian Eccles, feels like that's him being a hypocrite in a way. And I guess you can't blame the guy for feeling that way. I mean, you can't say one thing about one teammate and previously, and then come back and say, go and kind of do something similar, even if you are sorry. Evidently Sammy Smith also did something. Sammy Smith and Taylor Gray are the ones that, had a confrontation outside the infield care center. So, yeah, there was just a lot of not happy people in the Xfinity series yesterday. So I'm not sure how today is gonna go after yesterday. With this craziness if they keep this going on. Denny Hamlin had plenty to say on on Twitter or X or however you want to call it. He said if he was in the booth yesterday, basically calling the race, that he would probably get fired. That he would be calling people out. Denny, I do have to say, sir, you really can't say much, sir. You are known to hit people and put them in the wall and keep going. So you can't say that it's okay for you to do it, but not somebody else. And then he also has said he thinks Martinsville is a track that could use a avoidable contact penalty. So you could you could have avoided that contact, but you chose to make contact anyway. I don't know. Sometimes Denny Hamlin's Twitter, X, however you want to say it, is pretty hilarious. And then sometimes I'm like, how many times have you made contact with somebody on Martinsville track when you're racing them and it was avoidable, but you still chose to make contact with them? Probably more than you think, Denny. Literally. It is a very small track when it comes to the paperclip. It is tiny. You could have half the track will have the tail end of the line, and the other half the track will have the beginning of the line. That's just how this works. And if you want to pass, you're gonna be somewhere, and you're gonna probably bump somebody at some time. Could there be some unavoidable contact? Yes, but for the most part, it's if you want to pass, a lot of it's a bump and run. That's Martinsville. You just got to figure out how to keep your cool about it. But most of these young guys, I'm going to say, and the Xfinity teams too, they're small. They don't have, a lot of those drivers also work on their cars. I get that. But I can't agree with you going out there and calling them garbage either. And you wonder why people boo you. And I'm sure the boos will be plenty loud today. So we go green today at 3:11 for the cookout race. It is the cookout 400. It is only 400 laps today. We are 400 laps, everyone, is just a little over 210 miles because the track is just over 5.52 miles. Again, very small track. When they say short track, they mean it. It is going to be on FS1, and broadcast of the race will start at 3. If you need to listen to it, MRN or Sirius XM channel 90. It's supposed to be cloudy with a high of 68, a perfect day for racing. Winds up to 15 miles an hour. And this is the rough part, though. There is a 58% chance of rain at the start of the race. Let's hope it holds out. Now, the last race, Ryan Blaney won to get into the championship 4. Last April, William Byron won. And they earned a which was the 40th anniversary for Hendricks. And they finished a 1, 2, and 3 for Hendricks. So, we'll have to see. It's been very up in the air on how this plays out. There was also the controversial call because they said Christopher Bell rode the wall trying to make it into the final spot because you can't ride the wall like you would in the Mario Kart. And it's not Mario Kart, but the racing game. I like Mario Kart. Sorry, probably, that's what I grew up with, was Mario Kart. So we'll have to keep an eye on the weather for today and see how that plays out. Hopefully it will hold off or get the raining out and done well before we're looking at the start of the race, and so they can dry that track. The track is super quick to dry, thankfully, because it is so small. Today, we have Christopher Bell, Chase Elliott, Alex Bowman, Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin, Chris Buescher, Joey Logano, Bubba Wallace, Tyler Reddick, and William Byron are your top 10 starters. We have a total of 16 Chevrolets, 9 Toyotas, and 13 Fords. And like I said, Casey Mears is in this race, and he is starting at the very back of this lineup for his first race since 2019. He is starting 37th, along with Burt Myers. So Casey Mears is in the 66 today. But guess we'll have to wait and see what happens at Martinsville. Are we going to have an issue like we had yesterday with the Xfinity? Or are we going to see a clean race? I don't know. But I know that it never fails. Somebody is going to do something and make somebody angry. It always happens. Even if they don't show it all the time, it usually always happens. And it's always a fun race because of it. So happy Sunday, happy race day, and I will see y'all next weekend. Bye, y'all.